Fine. Today's session is conditional formulas. First, we'll understand what is this conditional formulas, and then we'll go ahead with learning the functions, whatever is there in conditional formulas. Let me go inside. Conditional formulas means depending on a criteria, getting a result. If it is true, what result I should get? If it is false, what result I should get? Wherever you have a scenario where I need to check a condition, then go with conditional formulas. So what are those conditional formulas? Let me just quickly brief and then we'll go in detail. So we have something called as if. That means if a condition is true, then give me some value. If it is false, give me some value. Then we have something called as nested if, that is having if inside if. Then we have something called as SUMIFS, then COUTIFS, AVERAGEIFS, and then finally we have something called as if error, which will actually give me true or false depending on whether there is an error in the calculations. Apart from this, we have few 2019 functions that I'll be telling you once we come to these three functions. Let's go to this if statement, and then what we'll do is we'll start working on it. I have a requirement saying that I want the status where if the total is greater than 10,000, then I should get the result as excellent, otherwise it should be poor. Understand the requirement? The requirement is the total sales. If it is greater than 10,000, then I should get the status as excellent or poor. Let me write the function like this, say equals if, open bracket, select this. If the value G8, if it is greater than, I'm using this operator, greater than operator, 10,000, then I'll put the value in double quotes. So whenever you're giving any value or say the parameter, it should be in double quotes. If it is text, I'll say excellent, comma. If it is false, if this condition is false, I should get one more value. Then I'll say poor, close the bracket. Now here it says if G8 is greater than 10,000, then I'll say if it is true, excellent, otherwise it is poor. Let me say enter. It says poor. The reason is it is less than 10,000. Let me copy this down. I'm just dragging it. See, this is greater than 10,000, so it is giving me excellent. Let me copy this down here. See, here it says excellent. Let me change this to 12,000 and see, it will automatically change to excellent. That means if the criteria is true, I'll get the true part here. Otherwise, I'll get the false part. Fine. Let's go to next example. Next one is nested if. Now there is nothing like a function called as nested if. Nested means it is inside and one more function inside. So it goes on like that. If I have multiple if conditions, then we call it as nested if. How this will work? Let's see. Equals if the condition here, the question says if the sales value is greater than 5,000, then it should be excellent. If it is greater than 2,000, it should be good. If it is greater than 500, it should be average. Otherwise, it should be poor. That means 1, 2, 3 conditions are there here. Let's take the first condition. It says if this value is greater than 5,000, then it should be excellent. Fine, this is done. Now there is one more condition. I'll put a comma. Then it says value if false. But there is one more condition to be checked here. What I'll do?
Sir, I'm sorry to interrupt. Sir, I'm sorry to interrupt. The screen has got hanged.
You're not able to see?
No, it is hanged.
None of you?
Yeah, now it's come back. Yeah.
Okay. Other?
Even your words are getting cut.
Hello? Hello? Please confirm. Others also are getting some problem?
Fine, that's fine now.
Adi sir, this is perfect.
Oh, it's
Okay, fine. I think some
is working.
Now it's fine.
no problem. There will be some network issues. Okay, I can understand. Yeah. So let me do it from beginning. Say equals. I'll say if. I'll select this value. If it is greater than say 5,000, then I'll say excellent. Fine. Now this is done. I'll say comma. Now when I say comma, it will go to the false statement. But I have some more conditions to be checked here. Now let's go to the second condition. It says if the value is greater than 2,000, it should be good. I'll say if this value is greater than 2,000, then I'll say good. Comma. Next, the false statement for this. Again, there is one more condition. So what I'll do, instead of giving this false statement, I'll say if this value is greater than 500, then it is average. We are given three conditions here. One condition, second condition, third condition. If none of them are true, then I'll take the false statement, that is the poor, and I'll close the bracket. Now when I close the bracket, this is for this if statement. There is one more if statement here. I'll close one more bracket. Then there is one more if statement here. I'll close that bracket. So three ifs are there. So I closed with three brackets and I'll say enter. See, I'm getting good. That means the criteria says if the value is above 5,000, it should be excellent. If the value is greater than 2,000, if it is greater than 2,000, that means up to 5,000, 2,000 to 5,000, it should be good. If the value is greater than 500, that means up to 2,000, then it will be average. Otherwise, anything less than this, then it should be poor. Let's check this. Let me copy this down. See, it says average. That means it falls from 500 to 2,000. Here it says poor, that is less than 500. Now here let me go and change this to 7,000. This should say excellent because it is greater than 5,000. See, fine. This is nested if. Nested if means having multiple if conditions. Let me check this. See here. This is if this condition is true. If this condition is true, then it will say excellent. If it is false, that means it will go to second condition. Now here I'll say if there is one more condition here. If this is true, then it will take this. If it is false, again it will go to this condition. Again there is one more condition here. Then it will go here and it will execute this. That is the false statement if none of these conditions are true. Right. This is if and nested if. That is when I just have to check the criteria. That's all. This is just to check the criteria. Now let's go to the next function. Here it says SUMIFS. The people don't get confused. What we are doing is the conditional functions. So we are doing any calculations or say checking the values for conditions. Okay, based on condition I'm doing this. So always think that there is something called as if. If means you're checking the condition. Now what we did in the first two functions, we tried to check a value. So based on that I'm getting the results. But now what we are doing, we're trying to sum or say count or average. That means I'm trying to do some calculation on that. The first session in the formulas session, say I think yesterday or day before yesterday, we saw sum, average, minimum, maximum, count. There what will happen, it will give me the total values, a total sum. So for example, I'll go here, I'll say equals sum of, let me take this as my sum range, say enter. If I say I'm getting this total value, that is I'm getting this sum. But what I want is, I want the total, but based on some condition. Let's say I took the total, this is for entire region. Now I want the total only for this north, wherever north is there. So one way what I can do, I can go here, I can say equals north is here plus, let me go and search for north somewhere here, yes, again plus, then again here, see, I have to search. So if I'm doing like this, you know what will happen, I might miss some value or it is more time consuming, which is not actually a professional way of writing a function or say formula. So what to do? So for this we have something called as SUMIFS. if. What SUMIF will do, it will add the values based on a condition. That's all. Here it is adding value, sum will add value, but no condition. But when I'm actually using this SUMIF, that means if there is a scenario where I need to get the total based on a condition, then I'll be using this SUMIF. Fine. Let me go to this. Let's say I want to add all the earnings only for this north region. My criteria, my scenario is, my requirement is for north region, what is the salary given. How to do that? I'll say equals, take this SUMIFS. Let's check the parameter. It says sum range. Sum range is nothing but what is the range which I'm taking for doing the total. So this one, let me take from beginning here. Say control down and let me scroll up here. See, I got this. Say F8 to F7, comma. It is asking for criteria range 1. Understand? Criteria range 1. That means what is the condition range I'm checking. Let me go here. Now I'm checking based on this region. Let me select this region. Make sure that the sum range and the criteria range will have the same range. Number of cells should be same. That is, see, I'm taking from here. I'll say till bottom, comma. Now I'll take what is the criteria for that. See, criteria range 1, criteria 1. Now the criteria is this one. I will close the bracket and say enter. See, I'm getting this 807200. This is the total only for north. Let's check this whether it is correct or not. How to check this? Let me just apply a filter. I'll just apply this filter and here I'll say region and I'll take this north, say okay. If I do the total 807,200, okay. Let's remove this filter and we'll go and check this. See, 807,200. That means my formula what I've written is correct. This is if I'm doing for only one cell. Now let's say I want to do the same thing for east as well. Now what I have to do, again I'll go here equals SUMIF. Don't do that. I can just copy the same formula here. But guys, now you'll understand the importance of the reference what we learned in our previous session. So you guys will be remembering that relative reference, absolute reference and mixed reference. So now I'll show you where actually these reference will come into picture. See, I created one function. SUMIF F8 to F47, that is this range. D8 to D47, that is this range. I took H8, that is this one. Sum range, criteria range and the criteria and say enter. Fine, I got. Now if you want to do for east, either I have to do it individually or I'll copy this down. Now you just observe, I'll just copy this down and see what will happen. See, I copied. I'm getting the result. But let's go and check the function, that is the formula. I'll double click on this. Can you see this? It is moving down. That means the range F8 to F47, which was there here, becomes F9 to F48. That means it was a relative reference. When I moved down, this reference got changed. I told you always it should be from beginning. Now in this case, I'll get the right result. There is no problem because east is starting from here. So there is no problem. But if you go to west, see, it is starting from the row somewhere here. See, I missed west here. That means 60,000 is gone. So how to solve this? How to manage this? That is what I was telling. The references play a very important role if you're actually doing the dynamic functions or say dynamic formulas. Let's go here and redo this function completely. The formula will work on this. What I'll do, same thing. I will select this earnings. Let's go here. I know that this range should be fixed. I will say F4. F4 means it will make it absolute, comma, criteria range, that is region, selected. Again, I'll press F4, comma, it will ask for the criteria, criteria 1. I will select this. Done. So this you don't have to fix because this H8, whatever is there, that should become H9, that is this one, then H10. So this has to change, but these two range what I've selected, this should not change. This has to be fixed. So what I'll do, I'll close the bracket and I'll say enter. Now if I drag this, See, now if I go here and double click, can you see that the range is the same place? See, so this is why I'll always tell to every candidates, every students, please understand the references if you are doing the dynamic formulas. Okay, once or twice if you practice it, automatically it will come. Fine. Suppose I have multiple criteria to be checked for my calculations. That is, I want to do a total, but I need to take multiple criteria. What I've done here is only one criteria, that is only region. What if I want to take department? Then I'll say equals sum ifs. It is asking for some range. I'll go here and I'll take this. I'll say F4, right? Same thing, comma, criteria range. What is that criteria range? First is region. Let me select this criteria range. Say F4, comma. Now it says for criteria. That means for this range, what is the criteria I have to check? That is region. Now I told you I'm checking multiple conditions, comma. The second criteria is what? Department. Then what I'll do, I'll go here, I'll select this department and say F4. The range what I'm taking, that has to be fixed. That means it should be absolute, comma. Then I'll say department. This is sum range. Then I have criteria range 1, criteria range 2, criteria. Okay, let me close this. Now if I say enter, it says 0. So don't bother. That means in north there is no human resource. Let's change this to sales and see. Enter. See, I'm getting the value. Change anything. I'll go here. I'll say accounts. See, it will change. That means dynamically I'm getting the total because I have selected the references here. So based on these references, I'm getting the value here. Let me drag this down. See, I'm getting the total. This is East marketing. I want all these into marketing. Let's say marketing. Let's select this. See, in north I don't have marketing. So anything if you give here, based on these criteria, I will get the total. This is sum if. Again, I'll repeat, sum based on some conditions. If I'm doing some total based on some conditions, then I'll be using this sum if. Let's go to this average if. Average if.
Mr. Adi, one doubt.
Yes.
Hello, Mr. Adi.
Yes.
One doubt.
Yes.
Now you are selecting the ranges, right?
Yes.
Is there a flow in ranges that should be selected? Second, like for example, earnings should be selected first, region, then department, or it can happen in any other way?
Very good question. Is it Madhu? Pardon?
Preetham speaking.
Preetham. Okay. It's a very good question.
Preetham.
Yes. Preetham, it's a very good question, and I'll explain this to all of you. So it's a very good question actually. See, let me again explain this. If I double click, let me zoom this and I'll show you. Just observe this. Here, check the parameter. I was specifically telling some range. Okay. The first parameter, what is there? Okay. If I click on this, it's getting highlighted. The first parameter should always be a value, that is which I'm adding. That means which I'm using for summing. Okay. Summing in the sense I'm trying to sum the values. But suppose if I'm actually, next one, what is there? This one, it has to be the criteria range. That is this one, the criteria range. And then the criteria. So here, let me come to the second example. If you see here, I have the sum range. But if you see this criteria range 1 and criteria, these two should actually match. That means the range and the criteria should match. If I have taken region as my range, then the criteria should actually match with this range. Next one, I've taken criteria range 2, that is department. Then it has to take the department itself as a criteria. So you cannot take here this range as region and the criteria as department. That you cannot take. What will happen is it will try to search this value, that is whatever value is there in region, it will try to search in this range. So to remember easily, what I'll do is I'll go here, First, I'll take the sum. The second one, what I'm taking, the second criteria, it will be criteria range. You have to decide what is that I'm actually trying to check. So I'll go here, I'll check this. For this range, what is the condition I have to check? I'll check this. If I have more criteria, then I can go and I can check this. So here, there is no rule that first I have to check this region only and then department. You can check the department and then region. There is no issues, or say there is no such rule that first it has to be region only or department. It depends on you. I can check the department first and then the region also. But if I'm checking the region here, then the criteria should be region only. It cannot be department. That means range, this is department, region, range, and here I've taken region. Then here I've taken the department, and here I've taken this department as my value. Can you guys hear me? Hello, people? Hello?
Yes,
Yeah,
we can hear you.
Okay. So you became silent, so I
hear you.
got disconnected or what?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, very good. So understood, right? So the scenario is like this. The flow will be like this. The flow will be like this. Sum range, criteria range 1, criteria range 2, criteria. Okay, fine.
Okay, clear.
Okay, okay, fine. Next one will be very simple, because the next one's what I'm actually doing is just same thing like what I'm doing this sum, but here I'll get the result in a different way. That's all. That means here I'm getting sum, here I'm getting average. That's it. I'll show you how to work on this average if as well, so that you'll get an idea. Okay, equals average ifs. Okay, same thing like sum is what we did. I'm taking this average ifs. It lasts for average range. That means in the previously it was sum range. I will select this, say F4, comma. Then the criteria range 1, same parameters. Only thing is here instead of sum range, I'm taking average range. So criteria range, that is region, say F4, comma. Then I'll select this region. I'll say enter. See, this is the average of north. Let me drag this. See, that's it. Very simple. Now what if I want multiple criteria? Let me take this as sales here. I'll just put sales equals average ifs. It lasts for average range, that is this one, say F4, comma, criteria range. Then I'll take this department, F4, comma, then region. The second criteria, I'll select this department, say F4, comma, and I'll select this department. I'll say enter. See, this is for 2 criteria. That is multiple criteria. If you have one more criteria, again you have to go here, and after this say comma and then range and then criteria, like that. Let me drag it. See, I got the results here. Same thing like what we did for SUMIFS, I'm doing for AVERAGEIFS. Fine. Next one is MINIFS and MAXIFS. These two are the new functions added in 2019 version, or say the new 365 version. How to work on that? Same thing. Let me do it here only so that you guys will understand easily. Say MINIFS equals MINIFS. It lasts for minimum range. That means in that range it will give me the minimum value for this region. Let me go here. I will select the earnings, comma, criteria range 1, that is this criteria, that is region, say F4, comma, I will select north, say enter. In north, 68,000 is the minimum value. See, let's do MAXIFS equals MAXIFS, the range. See, it is similar to that. So I'll select this, say F4. Then we have the criteria range. I'll go here and I'll select the criteria range. Then I'll select the criteria, say enter. Let me drag it. See, I'll get the result here. That means here I'm getting this average, here I'm getting this minimum, and here I'm getting this maximum. That is based on the criteria. That is, I've taken one criteria. Let's scroll down. Let's use multiple criteria to find this. So what I'll do, I'll go here. Let me take the heading so that you guys can understand. Say equals MINIFS, minimum range. I'll take this F4, comma, criteria range 1, that is this one, F4, comma, then criteria for that, that is this one, comma, criteria range 2. Let me take this one, say F4, comma, and say criteria. Say enter. We'll drag it. Now this one, the value what I've got is for two different criteria, region with department. What I got here is only for the region. MAXIFS, same thing, equals MAXIFS, maximum range. Let me take this one as my range. I'll say F4, comma, criteria range. I'll take the region. I'll press F4, comma, then I'll take this region. Next criteria is department. I'll take this, say F4, and then I will take this department, say enter. See, I'll get the maximum value based on these two criteria. So sum, average, minimum, and maximum. So what it will do is it will give me the value based on the criteria, that is by if conditions. Similar to that, I have one more, that is COUNTIF. What is this COUNTIF? COUNTIF, it will give me the count, that's all. It will not do any addition, or say it will not take any average or minimum or maximum. It will just count. So for example, I'm actually working on a project where I need to know how many times this employee is repeating. The employee is working on, say, 3 projects. I want to know this employee ID 001, how many projects he is working. I can go and I can count, say 1, 2, 3. If I'm doing it manually, let's say I have 10,000 employees in a very big company. I want to know how many projects these guys are working. I cannot go and keep on checking that. So for that, we have this COUNTIF. This is little different from these formulas which I thought. That's why I just kept this in the end. I'll go here. I'll say equals COUNTIFs. See here, I don't have any count range here because the range itself is taken for counting. If you see sum range or average or max or min, I had one more parameter saying that sum range or average range or minimum range or maximum range. Here I don't have count range because the criteria itself is a count for that. I'll go here, I'll take this region, say F4, comma, and then I will select this. That's it. Only 2 parameters, say enter. See, I'm getting this. That means north is repeating 8 times in this list. Let me go here. I want multiple criteria. I'll say sales. Let me copy this down. Say equals COUNTIFs, say criteria range, that is region. Take this, say F4, comma, and I'll take this region, comma. Next is the department. Let me take this department and say F4, comma, and I'll take this department. I'll say enter. See, north with the sales, it is 3 times. It is repeating 3 times. If you have doubt, or say if you want to QC it, so what you do is just go here and check that once. Say filters, say north. Let me filter this north. Then sales. Go here and take this sales. How many times it is repeating? 3 times. That means the combination of this is 3 times. That is what I'm getting here. The result as 3. So whenever you want to count anything, any value, you use COUNTIFs. Okay. So these functions are very much useful to work when you have a conditions to be applied. Okay, fine. We learned about SUMIF, AVERAGEIFS, MAXIFS, MINIFS, and then COUTIFS. Let's come to this if error and understand what is this if error. If error is actually, sometimes I get error while working on some formulas. So what will happen is, if I'm getting error, I need to get alternative results for that. Let's take an example. I'll say equal, we'll give one simple example. This divided by this. I'm getting the result. Let me copy this down. When I'm copying this down, see, I'm getting an error. Forget what error is this, but it really looks very awkward when you're actually presenting, or if you're giving to your client or your manager. If he sees this, he feels that what is this? I cannot go and change the value because I'm getting error here, or I cannot go here and delete and give some alternative number here manually. What if tomorrow the same template I'm getting some other value? See, it says 0, which is wrong. So again I have to go here and drag it. To avoid this, what we'll do is we have something called as if error, which will help me in giving me the alternative value for the error value. How to do that? Let me go here. Let me show you. Let me delete this. Take this function again, this divided by this. Yes. Now what I'll do, I'll go here. Let me cut this. Just cut this, or you can copy whatever. If error of this equation, that means the error of this equation, whatever equation is there, you can take any equation, or you can say formula, whatever you call it as equation or say formula, comma, if there is any error with this formula or say equation, what is the value I should get? That is default value. If it is an error, I'll say 0 and say enter. If there is no error, nothing will happen. Let me drag it down. I'm getting the result. Let's say here I'll replace this with 0. See, automatically I'm getting 0. I don't have to go and delete it. Tomorrow if some value is available there, see, automatically it will change. Never go and manually change this, because tomorrow if some data gets updated in the template, again I have to go and apply the formula. Say I'll go here, I'll say 0. Yes, I'm getting 0 wherever, 0, or sometimes it is blank. See, it's not only about giving 0 here, you can give anything. Let's say I'll say invalid data. I'm just saying invalid data. I'll say enter. See, wherever there is error, it will say invalid data. You can give a text, or you can specify a value. Anything is fine. But if error will help me in giving an alternative value for the error value. Okay, this is very useful whenever you're using this. Tomorrow I'll show you when you're using this lookup functions. The next session, when you come to lookup functions, there will be a lot of problems like this. You'll be getting errors, unexpected errors. So in that case, I'll be using this if error. And in the next section, you'll be understanding what are the different type of errors are there. Then you'll know where actually I have to apply this if error, right? Okay. Next, coming to this if statement. We saw this if, here I have this nested if or something. Now we also have a function called as ifs, like what we have the SUMIFS or MAXIFS or whatever. We have ifs. I'll say ifs. I'll tell you what this ifs will do. If, or say ifs, whatever this ifs, it will check the condition only once. So depending on that value, depending on that criteria, I'll get the value. That's it. Instead of nested if, say, multiple times I'm checking. So for example, I have here say north, east, west, south. Let me go here. I'll say equals ifs logical test. I'll say if this value equals north, then if it is true, what should happen? I'll say n, comma, logical test 2. In the previous function what we learned, that is nested ifs, what was happening? I'll say if, let me show you that, then you'll understand. See here how many times I'm using if. Say if then again if, then again if, then again some more times if I'm using, I'll say if. Instead, this ifs, what it will do, let me go here, I'll explain, equals ifs. That's all, only once. Now I'm just checking the say criteria. If this value is equal to north, then n, else. One more logical test. Now one more test I'm doing. This value is equal to south, then s. Next, if this value is equal to east, then I'll say e. Then if this value is equal to south, then for south already given, then we'll take west, comma w, close the bracket. See, let me drag it. Either you can use if nested if, that is also fine. I'm telling this is a new function, ifs. That means multiple criteria you can give like this instead of giving if inside if inside if. This is just alternative of it. That is, you can use ifs, that is multiple if conditions. Okay, so these are actually conditional statements. Let me summarize again. I'll go here. If condition is actually used for checking the condition. Next, I have nested if. That means I'll have multiple if statement, that is multiple criteria I'll be checking here. The next, we learned about SUMIFS, which will give me the total based on the conditions. Then we learned about AVERAGEIFS, that is, it will give me the average based on the condition. Then we learned MINIFS, which will give me the minimum value by the condition. MAXIFS, maximum value by the condition. And then we saw COUNTIF, which will give me the number of counts based on a condition. Then we saw ifs, that is multiple if, the multiple criterias. And then we also saw about if error. So if error means it will give me alternative value if there is any error in the functions. Right. Now let me open one more file and then we'll have a doubt session. Let me finish this quickly. This is very simple function, and then we'll have a doubt session. Next is we have a simple functions, that is mathematical functions. Let me open that and I'll show you what exactly it is. Mathematical function. Let's go inside. Assume I have a value like this. I want to round it off. Here I have, say, 4 decimals. I'm not talking about the number of decimal points what I have. It's just 0.3357. I want to round it off to, say, 2 decimals. I'll go here, say equals round, and I'll select this, comma. It lasts for number of digits I need to round. Let me say 2 and say enter. Can you see that? It rounded off to the 2 decimals, that is 0.34. How is this 4 coming? Because I have this 12.3357. If the value is from 1 to 4, then it will come to the lower end. 5 to 9, it will go to the higher end. Let me make it as, say, 1. Now this will become 12.33. But what if I want the round off always to be in the higher end? Equals round and make it as round up. That means upper. Select this, comma, and I'll say 2. Say enter. No matter what is the value, that is the third digit, whatever is there here, it is not bothered. Always it will go to the upper level. What if I want to bring it to the lower level? I'll say equals round down, and I'll select this, comma, I'll say 2. See, whatever the value it is, let's say I'll go here and I'll put 9. See, it is 0.33 only because it is round down. This will always be on the higher side. This will always be in the lower side. But this one will change accordingly. Accordingly in the sense, it says 12.3397. Whatever value is there, based on that, this will change. See, if I make it 1, it will become 12.33. This is rounding the decimal numbers. So if I'm using round or say round up, round down, this is for decimal numbers. Let's go to next functions. Ceiling and floor. The ceiling and floor is actually used for the whole numbers. This is again for rounding off of the values. Equals ceiling. Ceiling means top. Ceiling of this value. Let's say I want to round it off to the nearest 10th position, comma, 10, close bracket, say enter. See, the nearest 10th position is 80. Nearest 100th position, let me put 100 and say enter. See, 2900. Floor. Floor means bottom. Floor. I'll select this. Let's say I want to round it off to the nearest 10th position. Say 10, close bracket. See, 70 is the nearest 10th position. That is down, bottom. 100, then it should show 800. See, like this. This is for the whole numbers. The next one, sum product. Now let's go here, just maximize this. Let's assume that I have some value. I want to multiply this. When I say sum, let's go here, I'll say sum equals sum of this. So what it will do, it will give me the total sum, 5 plus 2 plus 6 plus 10, whatever, all this. Product will give me the similar kind of result, but it will multiply. Equals product, and let me select only these two. Say enter. See, 5 into 2. Let me increase the range. Say 5 into 2 into 6, it is 60. Now what if I just drag it like this? That means 5 into 10 into 2 into 3 into 6 into 9. See, I'll get this result. This is product. What is sum product? See here, I saw this sum. Here I have this product. But what is sum product? Sum product actually is a function which will help me in multiplying and adding the values from different arrays or say different range. Let me take the scenario. Let's assume this is quantity and let's say this is price. If you want to get the total of this, so what I'll do, I'll say equals this multiplied by this. Say enter. And I'll get the total like this. This into this, this into this, this into this. That's how the quantity and price is calculated. Now I want the total of this. I'll go here, say sum of this one. See, I'm getting the total. So I did two different tasks here. One is I took the total, say the quantity multiplied by price, and I took the total here. And then I'm adding all the values here and I'm getting the complete final total here. Instead of doing all this exercise, what I'll do is I'll use sum product, say equals sum product. It lasts for array 1. Take this, comma. So I have this 3 cells here. Same number of cells should be there here also. I'll select this and I'll say close. That's all. Selected this, I'll say enter. See, I'm getting 110. What it will do, this array and this array are multiplied and then added. That means product and sum. That is 5 into 2, 2 into 3, 6 into 9. Then it will add and it will give me at one shot. Instead of doing this and then adding, it will directly do internally with this sum product function. Let me change the value. Let me make it as 50. See here. Here also I'm getting 560. Here also 560. Change this. See, like this. Right? So you go here. If you want to round any decimal value, then I'll use this round, round up, or round down. If you want to round the whole numbers, then I'll be using this ceiling or floor. If you want to have the product, that is multiplication, then I can use product. And if you want sum product, that is multiplying and adding two different arrays, then I can use this sum product. Right? So this functions, whatever is there, please practice this because this is very, very important. It is very much useful in your projects as well.